Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Preaching in Pink. I am blessed and honored to be here today. It's been a wonderful day. It's been a trying day. It's been a challenging day, but you know what? God is able and He's always able. Today, I'm going to come to you in reference to healing and restoration. And when I think about healing and restoration, I think about a lot of the things that I've gone through in my life and what's gone on. But there's a particular point of scripture that I reference every time that I get to my low point. And so a lot of people I know, Psalms 23 is a soothing psalm. It brings joy. It brings comfort. But one verse in particular, which is the third verse, when it's, He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. And that is the King James Version. That is one close to my heart. But I also love the translation of the Living Bible. And that verse 3 says, He gives me new strength. He helps me to do what honors Him the most. And why I like that translation is because basically we're sheep that, God, that needs to be led. Sheep, you can't herd them like cows. You can't do all those things. You have to lead them. They have to be led. And there comes a point in time where we've been cast down. And when a sheep is cast down, they can't get up on their own. They need the assistance of someone. And I remember when I'm going through struggles and trials and tribulations, and I tried to do it on my own, and I just, of course, dig myself deeper into a deeper hole. I'm good for doing that. I'm real good for doing that. But as I'm learning in this walk that I have to depend on Him, I have to trust Him no matter what. I am a survivor of child abuse and sexual abuse and domestic violence. And the last couple of years have been torture to my soul. Sometimes I feel like I don't understand why I was put on this earth. What was my purpose? What was my goal? Why am I here? Why did you allow the things to happen to me? Why didn't you stop them when you had the ability and the chance to stop them? And what I realized is when God had me in my quiet moment, He was like, I need you to go through and experience some things so that when you minister and when I restore you unto me, you will be able to minister in your purpose and you can give light to those who may not have it. And I was completely blown away. I was like, okay, He wants to use me. Now, I love to minister. I love to sing, but speaking and ministering unto someone and giving someone hope and someone life wasn't anything that I thought I would be able to do because of where my start was, where I started, where I came from. I'm like, there's no way He could use someone like me in this downtrodden state. Yes, I can get up there and sing and minister like that, but to be able to speak, life into someone and be able to speak hope into someone, that's just wasn't going to be for me. And He always brings it around to me to verse 3 of Psalms 23. He's restored me. Yes, there are some areas of my life that I'm still healing from, and I'm opening up and I'm being more transparent. And I thought I needed to clear those things up before He could restore me unto Him to minister. And that was not the plan. The plan is I've restored you. Now I need you to be open and transparent because your story and your testimony is going to help the next person so that they don't have to suffer as long as you suffered. There was a reason for you to suffer the way you suffered and the time you suffered and the length you suffered. You had to go through and you had to see that you can come out on the other side, so that when you begin to be transparent and you share your story and you share where you're at, someone else who doesn't even think that they can get to the point of even saying that they have that issue can say, wait a minute, she got through it. If she can get through it, I can definitely get through it. And there are days where, I don't want to get out of bed. There's days when I just don't want to read my word. And, many of us had those praying grandmothers and they kept us through some things. And what I've realized is that I can no longer depend on the prayers of my grandmother, God rest her soul, who has been gone for over 25 years. I have to begin to execute my own prayer life, my own study, my own walk outside of what my grandmother did. She laid the foundation. She laid the foundation for me to be able to walk in this walk. Because trust me, without her prayers, without her covering, I should be in a mental institution. I should be in a padded room, 4 walls, with a straitjacket for the things that I know I've gone through. But that wasn't what he wanted. He took me on the brink to pull me back so that I can continue the walk with him. Now, yes, I know that there are definitely people who are just like, okay, we don't get it. What is so important about you just putting your business out in the street? Well, you know what? When Jesus sat amongst the thieves and the robbers and the prostitutes, he was putting his business out. He was putting God's love out, God's understanding, God's caring. So for me, I need to put my business out in the street. Because I need that young woman, that young boy to be like, you know what? I don't have to be silenced about this no longer. So-and-so shouldn't be touching me like this. So-and-so shouldn't be going upside my head like that. I know that there's better for me. I deserve better. If she can make it, I can make it. I don't know how I'm going to make it, but I'm going to reach out to her just to see how she did it. And being transparent means sometimes admitting you don't know the answers. You have to say when you don't know. You have to say, you know what? I'm going to have to pray on that sister. I'm going to have to pray on that brother, because you know what? I don't know what the answer is, but I do want to know one thing. I'm going to pray with you that we can find the answer and get you the help and the assistance that you need so that you can move forward in your destiny. So it's not about I'm keeping closed in, keeping, being a closed-minded. You have to be open. You have to be about it. We have too much in this world. We have too much in this world going on for us to continue to be silent in what God has done for us, how he has moved us, how he's moved mountains, how he has made ways out of no ways, how he has made miracles happen. We have to stop being that generation that don't see miracles, because we don't believe. I want to be that old school church where when they believed it happened because of the purity of their heart. The purity within their heart. Above anything else, their faith sustained them. And that's what I'm striving for. So therefore, if I'm striving for it, I want someone else to strive for it. I want someone else to love, whatever. And I know I do. I'm looking, thanks for the love and the questions. And I'm going to lay this out. And there's a few questions. And I believe in treating people like I want to be treated. There's things, and, I have a lot of friends who are homosexual. I have a lot of them who've been whatever, but my thing is like they have accepted and know that, you know what, I still love you. I'm not going to let nobody abuse you. I'm not going to let nobody mistreat you. I don't know your independent walk. Some I do know, because some like me were abused sexually as children. And so therefore we became very, very confused. And so therefore we didn't know what we needed to do or where to go or which way was the right way. So therefore, I'm not going to pass judgment, because God could be working on that person through my reaction, through how I treat them. And like I said, they're not going to be mistreated on my watch. They're not going to be judged on my watch. I'm going to love them no matter what. And I have a standing thing. I don't want to know what goes on in your bedroom. And that's whether you're with a man or a woman or whomever. I believe that that is a sacred spot that God has. I don't need to know that. But I'm going to love you no matter what. If you call me and need me for something, I'm going to be there. If you need me to pray for you, I'm going to be there. So there is not going to be a judgment zone in here. Do we have leaders that, are using bad moral judgment? Yes, we do. But as a Christian, I am called to pray, speak against it, but still love you. I have to love you. Because if I don't love you, I am not following God. I don't love God. And we're all his creatures, and we don't all agree with everything he did. If God turned away the thieves, the robbers, the murderers, the prostitutes, the whoremongers, where would we be? Where would some of our families be? Because our families aren't perfect. Our friends aren't perfect. So, and that again comes in the part of being transparent. We have to stop being so... We arrived. We got saved and we arrived yesterday. We have to stop that, because we didn't arrive. And so many in us are sitting in church broken and disheartened because people feel like they've arrived. I haven't arrived, and I've been on this journey for 20 plus years. And some days I feel like I just got saved all over again, because the mercies that he shows me is always brand new. The love that he shows me is always brand new. If he turned his nose up on me, like, most people, if he turned his back against people the way they turn them against us, or we sometimes look and judge other people, where would we be? Would we be able to sit here today and minister to others and, fill others and pour into others and show them that there's a better way? We can't lead and guide with hate. We can't lead and guide with judgment. God didn't do it. And I'm striving to be like him more and more every single day. So what are we going to do? I know what I'm going to do, and I hope you do it with me. I'm going to continue to be transparent. I'm going to continue to just voice my truths, my journey, my struggles. That's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm going to continue to be open to those who have questions, who want to reach out to me, who want to say, how are you getting through? Because some days I don't know how I'm getting through. Some days I know it's just the grace of God that gets me out of bed. It's the grace of God that moves me from one point to the next point, from one meeting to the next meeting, to be able to work my job, work businesses, and still be able to study his word. I know it's just him. I know it's just him. That's right. Grace. His grace is sufficient. It's plentiful. It's awesome. It is powerful. And I don't know. No, I know where I would be without his grace. I would be in jail, underneath the jail, dead. I know where I would be without his grace. And so therefore, because I don't want someone else to not be able to experience his grace, I'm opening myself, my heart, my journey to the world so that we can become better people and, create a better environment for children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren. There's so much hate going on in this world, and all somebody wants is a hug. All somebody wants is just to say, we love you. I love you. You're amazing. Do you know what that would do to someone's day? Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't like touchy-feely. I can be kind of off-puttish sometimes. But one day I had a coworker. Oops. Okay. I've been told I'm freezing, so I'm about to wrap up soon. Okay. One day I had a coworker who just walked up to me and gave me a hug out of the blue. And what she didn't know is, oh my God, I needed that. I was going through such a day where I didn't know if I was coming or going. Things just wasn't looking up. I was becoming, I think I posted on my Facebook page that I had a strong dislike for humans, because that's how I felt that day. Because the people who said they're going to do something for you or be there for you, and they're not there. And it was in that hug I realized that I was being dependent on the wrong person, on the wrong people. And my anger really wasn't towards the person who let me down. It was towards myself, because yet again, I went and depended on someone else and not God. And that was where my frustration lied. And that's where it should lie. And with that hug from that person, she restored that God is still here. Humans are still great. We're flawed, but we're here. But your source, you have to rely on your source. You have to rely on Him and not anyone else. And I was so grateful for that. So I always, when I'm sometimes posting or talking with people, my goal is to always be kind, always to be considerate, and always to be in prayer, because you never know what the person you are speaking to is going through. You never know what their trials are, what their tribulations are. And it could be that one word that comes from you that can send them over the edge, whether they're going to keep their life or let their life go. So I always strive to be loving. I strive to be kind and patient. Oh, I'm just grateful. Yes, we have to keep depending on God. I'm going to say that again. We have to keep depending on God. We have to, wear His love and honor as a badge. We have to begin to, suit up with the full armor of Him. And we have our days. We're going to have our days. We're going to slip. We're going to forget, what has to happen or whatever. But again, I come back to His grace, because He knows we're going to slip. He knows we're going to mess up. He knows we're going to forget. And what He does is that He slips that grace in there so that we can always find our way back to Him. So that we can always get back in line without completely falling off the cliff. So that we can continue on with the journey in which He's given us to do, and living in our purpose and on purpose. His grace is sufficient, and it's everlasting, and His love is. So, I thank you so much for allowing me to pour out my heart and my soul to you, to share in an intimate way, as I go to continue on to be transparent and more available to what God needs me to be, has me to be, and is moving me to be. I am grateful to be a part of such a movement as Preaching in Pink with the Pink Love Crusade .info, that we as women are coming together to empower each other and one another and others. And so as I am wrapping up, I am looking forward to listening to and hearing Pastor Michelle pour out into everyone. And if you are listening and watching, her Periscope is at Michelle_Edelin. And if I butchered that, please let me know in the comments. But it's at Michelle, and that's MICHELLE_EDELEN. That is my time. Be blessed. And remember, God's grace is sufficient, and live in his restored glory on you. Thank you. Love you. Pastor Michelle, I'm looking forward to hearing you pour out.